Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy CartoonTaj for another amazing video, man. Appreciate y'all watching. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the button down below. Yeah, hit it. Hit the like button. Appreciate that very much. And man, we got a great video today, man. I'm going to do the reaction side of my channel. You know, I got more featured videos I'm working on now. A lot more on the vote that I'm working on. As of right now, go ahead and knock this reactions out for you. And today, man, again, I just right to the brother videos. Man like Z. Oh, man like Z. I'm butchering it. Dude, YouTube handle last video, but it's man like Z. And man, I'm loving his videos, man. This video is really similar to what I'm trying to do with my videos. And I will have his link of his channel in the description below again. And today in this video is like how Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is slowly becoming the most polarizing NBA player. Man, Shai is polarizing. Is he? You know, Shai got one of the smoothest unorthodox games I ever seen. Like, he one of the guys to dribble toward, like, at you, but at the same time, it's like he's backpedaling. It's the weirdest, the weirdest game, but it's smooth at the same time, man. He the midi king, man. Shai don't take a lot of threes. He's like the midi king, man. His midi game is one of the best, top 5 ever, probably. You know what I mean? But how is he polarizing, man? We're really gonna check this out, man. I think he should have won MVP over Joker this past season. You know, so I would call him, man, polarizing. I think he's super underrated, even at what he's doing, leading the OKC Thunder team that had, I think was 10th or 11th last year in the West, somewhere around there, and to lead them to the #1 seed last season. 2 seasons ago, you was like a number 10 or 11 seed, and now you're number 1. I think, and you put up 30 a game, 50+% shooting. I think he should win MVP to me, but he's polarizing. Let's go watch the video, man. Let's get to it.
It happened. We knew Shai was going to be really, really good, but he's special. And so, in a way, Oklahoma won that trade with picks and a future MVP. Again, great trade for both sides.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is slowly becoming one of the most polarizing players in the NBA, and is in such an interesting position when it comes to fan and media perception as well as overall rankings. There's no doubt that he's a star, but the question of just how good he is remains unanswered, and we see this every time he's mentioned in the same light as other superstars. Take for example Shaq's recent comments about Shai essentially being better than Luka at the moment.
You taking him, Shaq, or Luka?
I'm gonna have to take him.
Wow.
Luka's a favorite player, but this kid, listen, he plays the right way, gets his teammates involved, and when he puts his head down and goes to the basket, no one...
Shaq, we're talking about right now. Right now?
Right now, the numbers are similar. Yeah, I'm taking him right now. He's definitely emerged as one of my favorite players to watch.
It's between SGA and Luka. I can't not take Luka.
That comment sent the internet into a frenzy because some felt like it was a ridiculous thing to say, and others actually agreed with it. Another player that SGA gets compared to quite a bit in a way that causes controversy online is Paul George. While some think that he's better than George, whom he was traded for in the summer of 2019, others completely disagree. And I don't know how many of you remember this, but just before this season began, ESPN ranked SGA as the 8th best player in the league ahead of LeBron James, and that was another case of a controversial SGA ranking. But for him to be in multiple debates comparing him to these 3 guys, SGA has to be doing something right, but it also makes you wonder if his...
Time out, man. My apologies. I had to fix my OBS right quick. We do it live. Do it live. I was trying to make sure I just reacted to my last video and it seemed like everything should be lined up right. Make sure we get the whole thing. There we go. It looks good to me. What y'all think? That's pretty good to me.
Not just a little bit overrated. The kind of split reactions we see when SGA is praised or compared to some of his superstar peers is seen in different groups within the NBA community, from current and former NBA players to people in the media and even the casual fan. Even though his numbers from the last 2 seasons are actually historic, as I'll talk about, it's not enough to point to the stats as a reason he's better than, say, Paul George or Luka Doncic. The stats of a player don't always reflect their true ability, because a lot of that stuff is situational in terms of like the minutes they're getting, if they're a number 1 or 2 option, what kind of system they're playing in, and if they're like a primary option, and so much more. So there's still a huge question mark about how good SGA really is. Is he really a generational superstar, or is he another case of an empty stats guy? And if you look at it closely, you'll find that in many ways, the position that SGA is in right now is very similar to what Jokic was going through.
SGA is very efficient. You know, he's very fundamentally sound. At the same time, he has a smoothness to his game and it's unorthodox. So it's kind of hard, weird to kind of see. He makes it look so easy. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the explosive athleticism like the Ant-Man or John Moran, anything like that. He doesn't have the three-point range like a Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, or what have you. He doesn't have the quickness. You know, he's quick, but he doesn't have the super quickness like a Tyrese Maxey. So it's kind of like, all right, a De'Aaron Fox, so to speak. It is kind of like Jokic. He has a fundamental game, you know, at that point guard position. And he has great size at 6'6". You know, got a good limb balls, good wingspan. He's a decent defender. Yeah, I mean, it's always kind of tricky with SGA, man. But the numbers don't lie, man. 30 a game, you can say empty stats or not. Team winning, you get 30 a game efficiently, 50+% shooting. You know, he don't take a lot of crazy shots. You know, and he get to his spot on the floor. You know what I mean? Yeah, good handles. And again, his midi is money. So.
Like 2 seasons ago. But before I dive into it, be sure to like this video if you enjoy it and consider subscribing to the channel. Let's see if we can get 300 likes on this one. Now let's get into it.
Man, likes up.
Where do you rank yourself currently in the league right now? Do you feel like you're one of the best players?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely Jokic is first though. Yeah.
You think Jokic is the best player in the NBA?
I gotta give Jokic his flowers.
I think we've reached a point where a large majority of NBA fans agreed that Jokic is a top 2 player in the league. Many fans and a lot of his peers actually believe that he is in fact the best player in the NBA, but the craziest part about this rise to the top is that he's been dominating pretty much the same way since the 2020-21 season, but he was only truly acknowledged, at least by the average NBA fan, after the 2023 championship.
I'm gonna stop pausing, but you know, I gotta get my 2 cents. The thing with Nikola Jokic, you know, he remind me of like a Tim Duncan. The game is fundamentally sound, but you know, Joker is passing out of that position, man, being a monstro, an orchestrator of the offense at the center position on the floor. Joker's one of the best passers in the game of basketball at any position. So when you have that and a guy that he has good touch around the basket, man, and again, he's not super athletic at all, man. like I think Stephen A. Smith said, he can't jump on the curb, you know, but he's fundamentally sound. He has a good touch around the basket, and he don't take a lot of threes. You notice that? Embiid should be more in the post, but he take a lot of threes. CartoonTaj take a lot of threes, but Jokic is a good shooter, really. He can really shoot the ball, but he just don't take threes. He take threes if it's a grenade that's handed to him, or with the shot clock running down or what have you. Yeah, he really don't take a lot of threes, man. Always be in the post, in the paint. And when you got a center that dominates the painted area, you know, that's how you win championships, for real.
And that run took monstrous performances from Jokic to dominate and defeat 2 leading Western Conference contenders that many generally thought would end up in the finals. Before winning that championship, Jokic was not just the most underappreciated superstar in the NBA, but the most disrespected one as well. Jokic had won 2 league MVPs, had led the league in triple doubles for 2 seasons, led the league in win share.
Okay, it's not over yet.
and other different advanced statistical categories, yet he was so brushed off by different casual fans, former NBA players, and NBA media pundits.
Can we agree, and I know Nuggets fans are going to get mad at me, if Nikola Jokic wins the MVP, he's the worst player to win the MVP since Dave Cowens.
No.
It'll be 50 years. No? Okay, so Nikola Jokic is better than who?
He's a great player. He is a legitimately great player. Why are you dissing Jokic? And you talk about Chris Paul's value
tell me
to
who
the
he's
Suns.
better than.
The public distaste for Jokic was at its highest after he won his second MVP. That's when we heard comments like this one from Steven Jackson.
Hey, what up, world? Hey, some kind of way we got to get a hold of this voting shit, man. Jokic is great, better than I ever was. I ain't taking nothing from him, dog, but he is not a back-to-back MVP, just like Steve Nash wasn't a back-to-back MVP. And these are just facts, man.
And when it looked like he was on his way to win his...
And you know what's crazy? I said the same thing too. I don't think Jokic is a back-to-back MVP. I thought Shai should have won it. But you can't deny the man greatness, you know, no matter how it looks, because he has a fundamental game. You know, I can't deny how it looks. Now, I think in history, the other players to win off the top of my head, I don't have basketball reference up at all at the moment. On top of my head at the moment, I think the other guys that won multiple MVPs, MJ, LeBron, Larry Bird, I think. Again, I gotta really look this up, man. But you got guys, out of that company, it's kind of like, hey, Joker. You know what I mean? I kind of get what people saying, because I said the same thing too. I don't think but he's a great player, though. I think Joker's the best player in the league right now. I can't knock the man game, man. But it get kind of sticky and spooky for real.
His third MVP trophy, we saw once again another former NBA player hating on Jokic when Kendrick Perkins claimed that the MVP votings were rigged in Joker's favor. And this was pretty much the sentiment with the casual fans as well. Take for example this reaction from NBA YouTuber and reactor overrated, who had this to say during the 2023 All-Star Draft when Jokic looked like he was about to be picked last, which led him to just walk up to the podium and join Team LeBron.
Get your shirt on, brother.
I have a problem. If Jokic is so good, can someone please explain to me why he didn't even get... Bro, he didn't even get drafted, man. LeBron didn't even say the name. I know y'all seen it. How is he 2-time back-to-back, Bobby 3-time, and don't nobody want it? Come on, man.
Yeah.
No 2-time, 3-time MVP should have to do that.
That's facts.
3-time MVP, my ass, boy.
Yeah, I think you get the point.
Yeah, 3 times
Jokic
diabolical,
was very
bro.
underappreciated before getting that ring, and while his case was a little bit extreme in terms of the criticism he got, it all stemmed from two things. One is something I'll call quiet dominance, which is basically just slowly killing the league in ways that the average fan just can't see and acknowledge until they have no choice but to do so. And two, Jokic was criticized because of comparison. You will notice that all the doubt that Jokic faced wasn't just because people didn't want to give him his credit as an elite player in the league, but it was largely due to the fact that they were comparing him to another player in Joel Embiid, whom many critics believe to be a better player. That was the case with Jackson, Kendrick Perkins, and even overrated. And in hindsight, this is crazy because not too long ago, after their matchup this season, Joel Embiid himself called Jokic the best player in the world. And that's what winning a championship can do to NBA debates. Now, when it comes to SGA, we are currently seeing these two things with him as well. Last season, Shai officially broke out into the superstar he is today when he started the season off on a tear that saw him averaging 31 points, 6 assists, and nearly 5 rebounds in the first 15 games. And to be honest, no one expected this. OKC was coming off of 2 straight seasons with less than 25 wins, and coming into that year, they were projected to be in that same ballpark, but they finished the season with a 40-42 record, and they managed to make the play-in without Chet Holmgren. But throughout that season, Shai's dominance was causing some uncomfortable conversations.
I like him.
Is Shai better than Paul George?
No. Today? Yes.
No.
Today? Yes.
Never, bro. Y'all got Paul George up.
No, we don't. Paul George is cold. What you taking?
Paul George, bro.
I'm gonna take Shai. I'm taking Shai, bro. Right now,
Y'all
to this day,
tweaking, bro. And
Paul
Shai-
George.
The Paul George and SGA comparisons were bound to be made regardless of how the trade was going to pan out, but when Shai hit his stride as a real number one option and a potential superstar, it took them to a different level. Around the 15-game mark last season, ESPN's
Today, I'm gonna pick Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over Paul George. And PG be hooping, man. I love PG, bro. But come on, man. At this stage of the career, PG 34, Shai about 26, 27. He's younger, more efficient. Come on, shit.
Tim McMahon gave fans a hot take when he said that SGA is already a better player than Paul George. This caused a split reaction among fans because while many of them agreed with McMahon, even saying that it was an obvious statement, others were quick to call that take outlandish and just straight up foolish. That breakout season for Shai is really something to be studied because he was dominating in a historic fashion. His 31 point and 5 assist average, paired with a 1 block and 1 steal per game average, was a feat that had only been achieved by 3 other players: Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade. He was doing this, yet many people were so reluctant to call him a superstar or even just lend an ear to the Paul George comparisons. And a lot of this had to do with the fact that just the season before, Shai was viewed as a player of the same caliber as someone like Mikal Bridges. But what should also be considered in SGA's rise is that OKC only played 4 nationally televised games that season. And that's why we began to see many NBA players and much of the media referring to him as the most underrated player in the league at the time. But even though his dominance was under the radar, it was hard to see how he could be left off of the All-Star team with those numbers, and he wasn't. But one list that many weren't sure if he was going to land on, even though he was deserving, was the first team All-NBA.
Jeff Van Gundy made the point last night that he believes that SGA should be first team All-NBA. First team.
I wouldn't fight you. It might be him and Luka.
Okay.
But although some people might be lean towards Steph.
You could do that. But if you're first team All-NBA, that qualifies you as a superstar to me.
Yeah.
Because there are a whole lot of stars out there, and that would make you super duper star.
Yeah.
Are you ready for first team?
Yes.
First team All-NBA. Guards, Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of Oklahoma
yes, I'm happy
City.
for him. Well deserved.
The forwards, Giannis Antetokounmpo of Milwaukee.
By being selected in the first team, Shai was essentially stamped as a top 2 guard in the league that season by league voters. And that was another point of controversy because following the announcement of the first team, even fellow NBA player Donovan Mitchell expressed how much he felt like he was more deserving of the spot when he put out this subliminal tweet. FOH, for those who don't know, means F out of here. But when you think about it, it kind of makes sense that many would be doubtful of Shai because in just one season, SGA went from having no All-Star appearances to being first team over players like Curry, De'Aaron Fox, and Donovan Mitchell. And he was also being picked over Paul George in fan debate.
You know, that is kind of remarkable, man. You haven't made an All-Star team and then you have a major breakout. I think probably the best breakout season you could probably dream of, man. The breakout, average 30 a game. And 30 a game, bro. 5 assists. Like you say, he put on numbers that MJ put up, that D-Wade put up. And, I mean, damn. And to make first team All-NBA, probably your first All-NBA selection in your career, and you make first team. That's what's up.
Him taking that next step and becoming a superstar happened so unexpectedly that it caught so many people off guard. And going back to my initial comparison, it was the same thing for Jokic around 2019 and 2020. Before the MVPs, Jokic was known as a really good big who was young and already on a great team, so when he took that step and became an MVP caliber player, in the eyes of the casual fan, it felt like the media was just dragging it. Similarly, SGA was seen as a good borderline all-star, but the moment he started to make noise with the big boys as an elite star, many people just weren't ready to receive it like that. And some people also believe that in order to be called a quote-unquote superstar, you have to maintain a level of dominance for at least a few years and not just one season. But now, 2 seasons into this SGA era, we're forced to have this conversation about him because he has sustained that type of performance and he's putting up another 35-5 season this year. On top of that, OKC has been making noise all season, hovering among the top 3 spots in the West, and they've been doing it in a seemingly dominant fashion. In December, the Thunder Thunder defeated the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Timberwolves, and then in their first game of 2024, they also beat the Celtics. In all but one of those matchups, Shai put up at least 30 points, dominating against the defending champs and 2 of the top 5 defenses in the league. Now, wins ultimately come from a team effort, and OKC is obviously killing it as a group, but SGA is also currently leading the league in win shares, which suggests that the season that the Thunder are having is largely due to what he's doing. And fun fact, Jokic was actually the leader in win shares in the previous 2 seasons. And as we've seen at times, like in those 2 marquee matchups between OKC and the 2 LA teams, when it really counts, the team only goes as far as Shai takes them. And this is why he's found himself in MVP conversations. As of the making of this video, SGA is at number 3 on the Basketball Reference MVP tracker, which is solely based on analytics. But the fact that he's ahead of players like Luka and Giannis has not landed very well with many NBA fans, particularly the Luka comparison.
And Shai is number 3 in MVP votes, ahead of Luka. I hate to come in here and sound like a hater, because I'm really not a Shai hater. I'm not. Like, I respect Shai's game. That ain't never been better than Luka day in his life, matter of fact.
The comparisons between Shai and Luka have actually been brewing since the summer, because after Canada beat Slovenia in the FIBA World Cup, many started to hear comments like this.
And then I think we would be remiss if we didn't talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Bottom line, Shai was better than Luka in this game. Frankly, this was a big opportunity for Shai to make a statement on this stage. He delivered over 30 points, got the line.
We also saw the clip of Shaq making the claim that he'd take Shai over Luka, and all the responses just show how the NBA community just doesn't know where to rank Shai among the top guards. From the reaction that Shaq got from his own co-hosts, to the one from people on the internet, it's clear that even though we can all agree that SGA is a unique talent, much of the NBA world is just not sold on him being a top 3 guard in the league, or just one who's better than Luka. Again, it's pretty similar to what we saw just 2 seasons ago with Jokic, when people weren't ready to put him over Embiid, and when many were just calling him a stat padder. And it's no surprise that all this coverage of SGA and OKC's emergence has made them a target in the league. We saw this with Paul George, who gave it to them in a recent matchup in LA, putting the game to sleep after a 38-point performance. And just to end off this video, I'll add another reason why people are hesitant to give Shai that top 5 rank. And that's the fact that SGA's game just isn't that entertaining to the casual basketball fan. His game is mostly in the mid-range, and he's not known as a 3-point shooter or a player who plays above the rim, and that makes him easily overlooked by fans who just focus on the flashy stuff. Like we saw with Jokic, winning ultimately cures everything and has a huge impact on the narratives because it clarifies a lot. So if OKC and Shai can somehow win a championship in the next few years before Paul George or Luka can get one, then the debates, the questions, and the disrespect will have to come to a standstill, at least for a little bit. That's it for the video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Until next time, peace.
Oh man. That was an amazing video, bro. A man like Z, bro. Another dope bid, bro. And to answer the question, is Shai the most polarizing NBA player? I would say probably the most polarizing might be Jokic. Might be the Joker, bro. Even though I think he's the best player, it's kind of, I guess we in a day and age, bro, when, you know, if your game not exciting, it kind of reminds me of the Tim Duncan won MVP. They're the Spurs win the championships. Nobody ever said Tim Duncan was the best player in the league. He's one of the best, obviously. He's top 3, obviously, but nobody actually never said that. I would say Cole, even Shaq at one point. Shaq was in the early 2000s, his dominance. Nobody really never said Tim Duncan at that time. I think for the casual fan like myself and for others, man, even the guys who used to play the game, that like the excitement, man. They like the Vince Carter high flying dunks, man. The Jordan Dr. J from the free throw line, man. Kobe band on somebody. T-Mac off the backboard. Ja Morant, Ant-Man booming on somebody. Zion dunking on something. You know, a lot of people out of somebody getting crossed up by AI, Kyrie Irving. You know, people like the flashy plays on top of the numbers. What makes the viewership, especially if you put the numbers and you got the flashy plays on top of it and your team win it, oh, you're the best player in the league. I mean, that's kind of the recipe for it. But if you put up numbers and you efficient and you're playing the right way and your teams are selling and winning and getting the #1 seed, potentially to the NBA finals and winning it all, and you win an MVP because you have efficient numbers, but your game is, you know, it's okay. It's, you know, he's put up numbers and it's quiet. You know, people like something in your face, man. You're like, oh man, I gotta watch this. You know, I think Shai do have some flashiness to his game. He's not always meat and potatoes like the Joker is. I can see he did behind the back crossover and pull up for a three. You know, he has that in his bag in his game, but I think for him to really ain't really nothing he can do. That's his game. You know, he just continue to play his game and tend to lead his team to wins, man, and potentially NBA Finals berth in a championship. So if I'm Shai, man, I just keep being me, man. You know, and he playing in a small market OKC. So I mean that has a lot to do with it. I think if he played with the Knicks, you know, I think more fandom, more fanfare, more everything will go up, and it'll be different. Because Jalen Brunson has a meat and potatoes type game too. You know, he's not a flashy type player, but he puts up big numbers. Not as efficient as SGA is, man, but he's in a big market in New York, bro. So I think it all really falls down to the big market. Even the Joker played in like the Lakers or something like that. He put up type of numbers. You're like, okay, but you know, I think that has a lot to do with it too. But I hope you guys like the video, man. I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Comment for the algorithm, you know, prayer emojis. You know what I mean? Help grow the channel, man. 331 subscribers, bro. I'm trying to do this thing, man. Trying to get grinding, get bigger and bigger with it, man. If you guys want to see more content of me, you know, if you want to follow me on my socials, man, the link be down in the description. You know, hit me on my Instagram for any artwork you want me to draw. You know, in my cartoon style, CartoonTaj, with your favorite ball player. You want me to draw you with your favorite hip-hop star, your favorite music star, country singer, it don't matter. Yeah, superhero, just hit me up. If you want to follow me on TikTok, man, link below. Check my animations, see one of my cartoon characters dancing. You wanna play me on Twitch, man, Madden 2K. Y'all want to get dropped off, you know, hit me up on Twitch as well, man. I'm trying to build all these communities up, man. Yeah, and also, you know, whoever like keep watching my video, man, you might get free artwork, man. I might get a free drawing of you, man. Courtesy CartoonTaj. So I appreciate y'all watching. It's your boy CartoonTaj. Peace.